Welcome to the General Health, Safety and Environment Induction for 50Hertz offshore grid connection projects. Your safety is the key factor that enables us to carry out our projects safely and effectively. For this, we need your help. This induction gives you an overview of the basic HSE regulations and requirements for work and access on the different construction sites and ships of any 50Hertz project. The information provided in this induction is the common basis for safe working practices both on and offshore. The different construction sites, ships and offshore structures can present various hazards during the course of a project. That is why it is necessary to provide separate, possibly differing HSE instructions. For 50Hertz, the protection of your life and health has the highest priority. The continuous improvement of health and safety management is therefore an integral part of our corporate strategy. As we want to ensure a safe workplace for everyone, every manager can motivate their employees by acting as a role model. It is the responsibility of all employees to identify potential hazards and to report them so the safety guidelines can be improved, because our goal is to ensure that our employees and contractors return home safely and healthily every day. Many HS aspects are part of the 50Hertz Take Care campaign. With this campaign, we want to ensure a safe environment during the daily work routine, such as safety on stairways, safety for cyclists, safe driving with cars and lorries, ergonomics at the workplace, and safety on construction sites. Please pay attention to these and similar notices displayed in your daily work environment. Our various office locations and construction sites are all very different, so you should familiarize yourself with the local conditions before starting an activity. The escape routes, assembly points or muster stations, as well as the position of the rescue and first aid equipment are signposted. The local medical first responders and fire safety assistants are also listed on notice boards. The main guideline for project implementation is the Regulation for Grid Management and Grid Operations, in short NNU. This policy is mandatory for the management and operation of the 50Hertz grid. All employees are obliged to comply with the regulations of the NNU to safeguard the life and health of all involved and to preserve the value of property entrusted to them. This way, we can ensure the safe, cost-effective and environmentally friendly operation of the transmission network. The most important regulations at 50Hertz, besides the NNU, are the instructions on guaranteeing occupational safety when contracting with external companies for work within the scope of the 50Hertz transmission grid, in short OAFN, and the project-specific HSE plans, which apply on all on- and offshore sites. The OAFN describes the special requirements for external companies working for plant operators. These are instructions on guaranteeing occupational safety specifically for contracted external companies that work within the scope of the 50Hertz transmission grid. All external contractors should respect and adhere to the roles and responsibilities assigned to them according to the OAFN. The operation of electrical systems places high demands on occupational safety and environmental protection. The 50Hertz Corporate Handbook, the Technical Regulations, in short TRN, and a project-specific HSE plan are further regulations that apply to offshore projects. Depending on the distance you will be working from the energized systems and equipment of 50Hertz transmission, a work permit, the DE, may be necessary. Staying on an offshore construction site or ship requires additional training, health checks, and qualifications. The Personal Safety Logbook is a document that must be carried with you at all times. It contains the details of all completed qualifications and training courses and must be presented for inspection by 50Hertz upon request. Missing and incorrect or expired certificates can lead to immediate removal from the construction site. Requirements for offshore personnel include first aid training, offshore training, an offshore medical check, manual handling training, and electrically instructed person, in short EUP training. The Offshore Certification Matrix specifies what qualifications you should have for the operations you will be performing. The Personal Safety Logbook is only valid with a current photograph and signature of the employee. A safe working environment can only be achieved if everyone knows how to behave correctly on offshore construction sites and ships. The names of all persons going offshore must be reported to the responsible marine coordination by the ship's command immediately upon embarkation and disembarkation. Transfers to and from CTVs should preferably be done in daylight, and the suitability of the CTV must be proven and documented by prior push tests. If the difference between ship and asset is greater than 2 meters in height, personal protective equipment, in short PPE, must be used to prevent falling from heights. Transfers may only be carried out at night prior approval by the skipper and under adequate lighting conditions. Good housekeeping is also key to safety. Therefore, housekeeping and waste disposal is an important part of the general behaviour guidelines at offshore construction sites. After completion of work, the working area must be cleared, obstacles removed, and waste properly disposed of. Waste must be sorted according to specifications and collected in the appropriate containers in accordance with the contractor's implemented waste disposal concept and the MARPOL regulations. In addition to our safety standards, the German maritime labour law and the Offshore Working Time Ordinance are mandatory on all offshore construction sites and ships. PPE must be approved for offshore use and must be used in accordance with the risk assessment drawn up by the employer for the planned activity. Combinations are only permitted if the effect of the individual equipment is not limited or eliminated by the combination, for example, harness in combination with life jacket. If any limitations in the protective effect are noticed, the activity must be discontinued and the supervisor informed. Check your colleague's equipment to ensure that it fits correctly and is in good working order. Take personal responsibility for the care and regular inspection of your PPE. Offshore construction sites, ships, offshore structures, production facilities and shipyards, as well as loading ports may be organised under the HSE supervision of a project partner or contractor. Hence, the regulations may deviate from or exceed the policies applicable in the 50Hertz group. Familiarise yourself with the local conditions and memorise the safety signs and the location of emergency equipment. In all cases, the standards of the 50Hertz regulations must be observed at the very least. When staying on construction sites of offshore projects, you must obey the following basic rules. Always register with a local construction management organisation. Take part in the site induction. If necessary, a test will be carried out as proof of participation and understanding. Follow the instructions of the local site's management at all times and wear the necessary, instructed PPE. Keep your personal safety logbook with you at all times to prove your certification. Smoking is only allowed in the designated smoking zones. No alcohol or drugs. All employees are obliged to report any violation of this rule. Picture and sound recordings are forbidden. Derogations may be requested by the project management. No access to any areas that are not related to the work performed by the company. Never linger under suspended loads. When carrying out electrical work, the 5 safety rules must be observed. First, disconnect completely. Second, secure against reconnection. Third, verify the absence of operational voltage. Fourth, carry out earthing and short-circuiting. Fifth, provide protection against adjacent live parts. Working in the vicinity of live parts is only permitted if suitable protective measures can be implemented to ensure work can be carried out in accordance with the DIN VDE 0105-100. In case of an offshore accident or incident, 50Hertz Transmission operates an emergency response plan, in short ERP, and also has a rescue helicopter on permanent standby. The plan includes the names of suitable organizations and contacts for the rescue of casualties at sea. The following contacts must be informed in the order given. First, the MRCC, German equivalent is GMN. No costs will arise for the reporting person or organization. Second, TUP RZ Nord. Third, Marine Coordination. To guarantee a fast rescue, all communication lines must be followed as described in the ERP. When dealing with emergencies, any necessary action taken must comply with the applicable emergency response plan at all times. The latest version of the ERP will be made available to all project organizations by email. Offshore wind energy and the trades involved are a constant focus of the media. Especially when media attention is generated due to an emergency or accident, it is important to remember that all communication to the media should be done by the press office of 50Hertz. Individual communications to any media, including social media, by project personnel is not allowed. When approached by a media outlet, remain polite and refer the media to the 50Hertz transmission press office. Additional project-specific handouts containing detailed information about the specific project will be provided after completion of this induction.